What is up, guys? So great to have you here today for today's video here on the YouTube channel. And super excited to continue talking with you guys this week as we have been talking about the power of content buckets. And I'm going to dive deeper into the 5 content buckets that built my business and how that really built with potential clients know, like, and trust. But before we dive in, if you haven't listened to Tuesday's video, please go back and listen to that because it talks about the power of content buckets. And also go check out the podcast because on the podcast today, we are talking about how this structure and content buckets can create freedom in your business. And as you guys have seen the past couple weeks, I'm sure I'll do this on the channel from time to time. Both videos and the podcast kind of all fit into the same theme, and none of them were exactly the same. Each video was different and showed like a different part of it, and the podcast episode was different as well. So go check out that video from Tuesday, the podcast from today, and let's jump into it because I want you guys to understand today my exact buckets. And I know I mentioned them briefly on Tuesday's video, but I really want to jump into why I built them that way and how I can plan, create, and schedule my content so that it never controls my life. And actually, it's fun. So on the video Tuesday, I kind of walked you through my plan, how I created it. And here on, YouTube, I want to give you the visual side, the full blueprint. Talked about it briefly on Tuesday on the video, talked more on the podcast today. And here on YouTube today, I want to give you the visual, exactly why I built out the 5 buckets of content that built my business and helped me to get more business and more than 100,000 views per month organically on social media. So these buckets, we've talked about this a little bit, talked about this with the avatar, right? We attract and detract people. My 5 buckets attract the people I want and push away the people that I don't, right? And it attracts my dream clients. It's so interesting. My first bucket talked about faith and family. So if you're not a person of faith or hate people that are, I don't understand why, but that's okay. You're not going to like me. If you, just for instance, I talk so much about my wife and kids and share that, on here on the YouTube channel, on the podcast, on my social media. And so you would never come to me as a real estate client and not know that my faith and family come first, right? It is very apparent. So if you do not want a realtor that puts their faith first or their family first, I'm not the agent for you. Do you kind of see how I push away the people that won't respect me, my family, my faith, and my boundaries, and attract the people that have kids, are upgrading, their home and have multiple kids and things like that. I attract those people because they are just like me, right? And so these buckets attract the dream client, that understands if I have to be a little late because we were doing the kids swap at home or whatever, or have to be a little late to something because I got to get my son on the bus or daughter to school. And they value family, right? So if I have a kid, today I was home with a sick kiddo. So my clients understand that. When you can attract and detract with your buckets, it just gives you a lot of peace and freedom in your business, right? When I first started, like I've kind of said, it was very random. Closings, inspirational quotes, some kids stuff, but nobody could really tell what I believed or what I stood for. And so once I created those 5 clear content buckets, I stopped thinking about, oh, what do I post? And I just rotated through those buckets. I said this on Tuesday, but structure does not kill creativity. It actually gives me a lot more freedom to be creative. So I'll go through my buckets and why I created them this way. But and you do not have to align with me, right? Your buckets might not, but I just want you to think about how you would create that bucket in your business. Bucket number 1, faith and family, right? I wanted to show my heart, loving my wife, parent to my kids, follower of Jesus, all those different things. I want to share parts of my life that remind people that I'm a human first and that faith and family come before me as a realtor. Now, some people might not like that and scroll right past it. That's okay. But the ones that stay and like that stuff, they are my people. They'll DM me saying, we picked you because of how you talked about your faith and your family. And they will say, we actually really like that about you. And so that kind of marketing is what I believe is marketing done right, where the right people lean in and the wrong ones quietly move away. It's so interesting because my mentor, Vincent Puglisi, once told me, and it's so funny because it was about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, where I was not posting like I needed to, and we've talked about that a little bit. And he said, John, you do it different than every other realtor out there, and you are not telling people about it. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, I've never seen you beg for business. You barely post your buyers and under contract and coming soon. And that was very interesting. Now, I do try to post my real estate business, my buyers and sellers, but instead of spamming my feed with just sold graphics, right? What do I share? I share the stories, the wins, the lessons, even the hard days. And so that transparency attracts clients who want honesty and education, not me to like BS them. And so if someone wants a realtor who just posts trophies and awards and how much money they make and their car all the time on social media, I am just not that guy. I drive a nice car. I love the car that I drive, but I'm just not that guy because I don't want the attention to be on me and my stuff. I want the attention on the real estate side to be on you as the client and the journey you are on, not on me. If you see me and I do post my sold and under contract and things like that. It always says these words. You can steal this. It always says, it was an honor to be a small part of this transaction because then I can post my wins, share about my business, share about the closings from a humble place. And that transparency and humility is what brings me the clients that I want. Bucket number three, social media coaching, the wolf pack, all that stuff, right? You guys are here. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty with the wolf pack, right? You see the wolf over here, the wolf up there. You see the branding all the time, but I don't beat people over the head with it. What I find is I want everything to be subtle. I've loved my time at eXp. It's really changed my life and my business. But I've never been that guy. I don't pitch, I don't cold call or whatever. If you want to change your life and your business, sure, come on over. We'll help you do that. If you don't or you're not ready for that, that's okay too. But what I really try to do in this bucket is show realtors, right? It's exactly what created this channel. I want to show realtors how to build their business organically without cold calls, door knocking, buying leads, buying ads. And I do that on my Facebook. I do that here on the YouTube channel. I do that on my podcast. Now, that content pulls people in who are hungry to learn and ready to put in the work. Now, you might be someone interested in the wolf pack and then you get my training and coaching for free and that's fine. Or you might not be, and that's fine too, because I have options to pay for coaching, pay for the membership, pay for other things that we have going on, or just watch my content for free and my YouTube channel for free and listen to the podcast for free. And that's all fine and good. But what you see is even in this bucket, where at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I'd love to partner with you at eXp Realty. I'm just not that guy that's going to beat you over the head with it. It's changed my life and my business. But I also understand that I was very standoffish about it for a while. I apologize about that, Jeremy Kane. Love you, buddy. But it's all about building relationships, right? And so I've built relationships with people that say, I'm never coming to EXP or the Wolf Pack, and that's okay. Let me just teach you the social media stuff. But I love what I do. I love serving agents through social media. I love teaching them that this is possible, not paying for leads, ads, etc. And I know it's possible, right? And so if here's the thing, right? Attract and detract. If someone is just chasing like a quick hack or wants the magic CRM to fix everything, they will bounce because this social media and what I teach is a long-term game. It really is. And if they're not interested, that I promise you is okay because I'm building long-term leaders, not just shortcuts. And so if you just want the quick fix, you really, again, I would rather push you away. I would rather detract you away from my content, right? Bucket number four, my sports and passions, right? I want to show my personality, right? You all know I'm a diehard Phillies fan and proud season ticket holder. Again, please, we don't want to talk about the playoffs this year, losing to the Dodgers, but I post stuff from games. I post, you know, watching Phillies games, watching Eagles games, going to games, enjoying watching them as a family. It is a connection point, right? Maybe yours again is, like I said, knitting or basket weaving. Maybe it's hiking, coffee, travel, whatever lights you up, share it. By all means, please share it. If someone can't stand Philly sports, no big deal. The people who vibe with that energy and love Philly sports will connect with me. And of course, too, like this bucket's a little interesting because just because you like the Giants or the Cowboys or whatever, like we'll bust each other's chops, but we can still be friends and have a relationship. And honestly, it actually becomes a connection point because I know that I can roast. Let me shout out a few of my agents. I know I can roast Saul Hernandez, my agent down in Tampa, about the New York Giants. Thanks for Saquon Barkley. I know I can roast my agent Dave Freeland out here in PA about the Cowboys. But what does it do? Sports builds that connection point, and it's fun, and we enjoy talking about it. So bucket five, financial freedom, right? I love to share lessons on money and mindset. I love to attract long-term thinkers and deter flashy ego crowds. Okay. So we did the Dave Ramsey thing, paid off our house a few years ago, paid off all our debt, and then we moved later. But we talk about that journey. I post budgeting tips, lessons from Dave Ramsey, how the peace of mind financially can beat luxury. I mean, we live very frugally, and that attracts people that want financial stability, not just a big house. And if my post about living on a budget annoys you, that's fine. You were not my person anyway. I want to share an example about this one and all of them because I kind of say attract and detract, and you might be like, John, you're nuts. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I apologize. So let me clear it up. I remember about probably 6 months to a year ago, I knew this was going to get some people upset, and I didn't care because attract and detract. So I made a post. Now, guys, I got to tell you, I love my Apple devices. I love my iPhone. I love all that stuff. But I made a post about financial literacy. And I said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you have less than $1,000 in the bank, whatever, you do not need to be buying the latest iPhone. And I love iPhones. I just got a new iPhone, right? And guess what? People tore me a new one. How dare you? You don't freaking know about my money. You shouldn't tell me what to do with my money, man. You tell people about their money, and that will attract and detract people, right? I also had a lot of people that were like, I love this. This is great. Thanks so much for sharing. But then the people that hated it really hated it because people do not, if they are not interested, they do not want you telling them what to do with their money. But let's kind of break it down a little deeper and go deeper into this, right? These are not my people, attract and detract, right? So what does that mean? I had someone, I am not kidding, and they're like yelling at me, cursing me, you can't tell me what to do with my money, this, that, and the other, like very angry. Well, here's the deal, guys. Kristen, shout out Kristen, went to my old church. Kristen blocked me, okay? Was I offended? No, by Kristen, because Kristen was broke. Kristen had no money. Kristen was renting and could barely afford it. No offense, Kristen's never going to buy a house. So Kristen is not my person. So I did not care. In fact, I thought it was hilarious when she blocked me because she still lives in an apartment and has an $800 a month car payment and is absolutely broke, right? And we'll look back one day and say, maybe if I, listen to that advice about the iPhone, maybe I wouldn't be in the position I am in. So do you see how, right? All of these buckets, I think about who I want to attract, who I want to push away. Every single one. Faith and family, showing my heart. Real estate, showing my care for clients and my skills. Social media, Wolfpack, all the coaching I do shows my heart for not just the buyers and sellers, but agents, sports, that kind of fun stuff shows my personality. And of course, financial freedom shows my why and what I believe in on the financial side and, getting out of debt and those things. Together, all of these speak directly to my avatar, right? The busy family upgrading their home and chasing that peace of mind, or that agent who has been doing the cold calling, doing the door knocking at their old brokerage or their current brokerage, and they say this is the only way to grow your business, and they say, no, I know there's something better out there. John Schuchman, please help me because I know you did it. So please teach me the way. And then the financial literacy, right? It attracts people as well. Okay. So here's what I want you to think about and do. How are you doing this? I want to hear in the comments. Are you doing this well? Are you not? Can you do it better? Every single post, everything should be for your avatar. And sometimes, like me, you have a couple, like the agent attraction side and the client side. But every post should either pull people closer or push them away, right? My content pulls people in. And if they don't like it, it pushes them away. Goodbye, you are not my people, right? Every post pulls in or pushes away. And I would say both, whether I push you in or pull you away, both are wins. Both are wins for me. So here's my challenge. I want you to think about for 30 days. I want you to write down your five buckets right now. Make them real, make them you, make them for your avatar. Then for the next 30 days, I want you to only post content for that avatar as part of those five buckets. Trust me, I promise you, and you can yell at me in the comments if it's not true, but I know it's true. When you do this, you will notice less stress, more clarity, deeper conversations and conversions in your DMs and texts and all that. And that's when you know that your content finally matters and is finally working and makes sense. Okay. So if you want to hear exactly how I schedule these buckets through my week and fit that content around showings, clients, family, etc., listen to today's podcast episode, The Power of Content Buckets, and how that structure creates freedom. And you can find that. I'll put the link in the description for you. So, and on Tuesday, guys, I'm getting into some more stuff helping agents. I want you to start thinking about doing one thing a day in your business and how small daily actions can take your business to the next level and compound into huge result. If this helps you, please drop the word buckets below. And I'd love to give you my free planning template so you can organize your content around your buckets. And I'd just love to hear in the comments what you found helpful in this video. So appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon.